Hello, I'm designer Nisha Amrish from brand Aeshaane, India. Aeshaane has been into creating sustainable future for fashion since its inception in 2010. Recently, Aeshaane also ventured into creating fashion in the interest of community service with sustainability as its core strength. Since then, we've also ventured into various initiatives exploring the possibility of a conscious living. So come join me in this journey as I take you through the fashion narrative to build an inclusive society. I once had a chance to visit a sericulture farm, and what I saw there actually stayed with me. Live worms were being hurled into boiling water to make just 1 yard of silk. It was a gruesome sight, and hence began my explorations in organic silk with a simple thought of creating sustainable silk. After countless hours of research, I discovered that there was this village in the middle of nowhere where you had rural people who were thinking like me. They were making this silk in a completely untouched natural environment. Here, the worms actually feed on mulberry leaves and they grow in size. They then weave a cocoon and live moths are there inside the cocoon. They then pierce one end of the cocoon and emerge free. Here, nobody is in a hurry to bury them alive. The fabric is coarse but cruelty-free. Seen here are organic yarns made by my weaver Ravi and his family, who've been doing this for generations as a means of livelihood, and Aeshaane is proud to be having adopted them as part of its extended family. The yarn is now spun into fabric, and this, my friends, cannot be duplicated by machine-made fabric, making it a truly wild silk. With all this, I learned that going organic was a process and not a status. Now that I had the fabric in hand, I went berserk with colors, since that's something that comes so naturally to me. My dyer Pankaj would go crazy when I would tell him, "Thoda deep kar, nahi, thoda kam kar," because for me that was the real magic. This is my oldest printer Bachu, who actually inspired me to go to Paris with my designs. I did not have money to buy blocks then, so my first block was actually carved out of a potato in my mother-in-law's kitchen. As you can see, he actually has cut a potato in the shape of a leaf. Later, of course, we carved the teakwood block, famously now called the aloo block. Hours and days of intensive care and labor goes into handcrafting each piece. Every printer is trained to produce quality with no fear of time. Meet Mithilesh, my pillar of strength, and Deepak, a one-man army. My boys are not cheap substitutes for machines. Each of them is unique like the piece they create with timeless imperfections intermingled with these threads of thought. At Aeshaane, we know exactly who hand-weaved that piece of silk and who printed it, and we are on a first-name basis with each of them. We hope that one day all businesses will give them the due they so deserve. At Aeshaane, we have shown that it's possible to have a sustainable supply chain and care for your artisans while still being a successful business. Conscious clothing is the future of fashion. This also means that Aeshaane leaves behind a better footprint for the generations to come. As a mother of a little girl, I believe that protecting the earth is as important as cherishing our girls. I started with as little as Rs 3,000, and now I have 20 rural families who've joined hands with me. This place is our temple. It gives our life a purpose to create sustainable silk. Meet Shalini, my store in charge, who's been with Aeshaane since its inception and is now family. Little did we know that these threads of thought would bond with a wider audience from London to Tokyo who appreciate finish and quality. The world's most prestigious Museum of Design and Art, the Victoria and Albert Museum, London, presented the Fabric of India Festival, displaying the workmanship of master craftsmen from across the globe, celebrating the world's most renowned designers, including India. Aeshaane was proud to be handpicked from India, and our diamond scarf, as it came to be called later, was housed on a mantle in the center of the museum shop and was sold out within hours of display. Vogue called it the most stunning exhibition that you would see in London. Aeshaane has been harboring a dream for years to marry fashion with community service, and that's how our first project for cancer came alive. I met Pooja, and she decided to give up her hair in our endeavor to support women who were fighting cancer. Women wrote back to tell us how they identified with us and how Aeshaane made them feel beautiful and alive again. Aeshaane's second project, to build an inclusive society, was inspired by the festival of Kuvagam that celebrates transgenders. Later, I met a couple of them, and after hearing their social stigmas and hours of research, I was very inspired to meet 5 such trans women who had emerged out of their closets, just like my silk moths who become beautiful butterflies. This year, Aeshaane is turning 7, which also aligns with Shakespeare's 7 stages of man and the 7 beautiful colors in a rainbow associated with the LGBT. We also shot 7 pictures for our calendar titled Tirunangai, which depicts the masculine and feminine side of the community. What is in front of you is this idea, a reformed parallax of the transgender community, shown through the metamorphosis of the silkworm. The life of the transgender is like the transformation of the silkworm into a beautiful silk moth. Precisely how the silkworm goes through a spell of darkness in its cocoon, bearing all the pain while trapped inside, and finally finding a window to get out and be free, the transgenders also endure the same spell throughout their life. Each picture represents this transformational cycle and is a strong narrative of their struggle. Seen here are transgender Selvi, a physiotherapist, and Mobina, a social activist, having their faces smeared with red kumkum, depicting their fear to face the world. Selvi is fighting her battles both within and with the outside world. Seen here trans woman Anjali, a trained classical Bharatanatyam dancer at crossroads, depicted by the dark spots and bright specks of Aeshaane's Ahimsa silk. Anjali is pondering over her future, and she hears her inner voice and fearlessly breaks away from the pack. Trans woman Ponni, also a Bharatanatyam dancer, seen emerging from the closet. And finally, Sudha's euphoric moment after coming into her own, symbolizing a beautiful butterfly. Aeshaane is collaborating with Royalty Prince Manvendra Singh Goyal of Rajpipla, Gujarat, the first gay prince of India, to celebrate the World International Transgenders Day on March 31, 2018. Aeshaane was proud to be handpicked by the apex body of fashion, the Fashion Design Council of India, to represent India at the Jakarta Fashion Week in 2017. Aeshaane's diamond scarf stole the show at Jakarta as well. Aeshaane has also carried our dream of conscious living to Paris at Who's Next for 5 simultaneous years, and closer home at the Amazon India Fashion Week Delhi several times. These are some of our celebrity clientele. Aeshaane will continue its efforts to ring in sustainable fashion in the interest of community service. So come join me in supporting the Green Revolution. Thank you.